Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
A lot of us live our lives hoping for fond memories when we reach that final leg of the journey. There are doors and windows of opportunity, not walls. All of those things, over, under, around, that's wall talk. That wasn't to serve you, that was to distract you. Why does greater than provide windows and doors? Because it knows if you just can peek through the window, one day with me, you will walk through the door. That is the only way to get through it. And you got to get through it in order to get to it. Why? Because every single moment is a new opportunity for greatness. Don't build your career on holding up something you accomplished years ago. Build your career on things you created moments ago.
Hello, my name is Amy Joy, and I am so honored and privileged to be part of the Power of We Symposium going to Romania May 5th through 12th. This is a tour of hope. In the 1990s, we learned about 170,000 children in the system in dire situations. It is much better now, and we are going there to celebrate that with them. And there are still so many kids in the system. On Saturday, it's my day. It's my day to provide the food and the things that we're going to do and the games we're going to play with the kids. And the reason it's my day is because on Saturday we are visiting a shelter of domestic abuse. I have gone through this. I understand this. And what a blessing that I have. I'm so grateful for that experience in my life, for this moment in time where I can go and be a blessing, where I can go and have understanding. And if you'd like to help, if you're in alignment with this at all and you want to share your beautiful energy with this group and with this mission and with this tour of hope, I would love to partner with you. Together, we vibrate higher. And that, my friends, changes the world. Thank you. Mwah!
Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul, and honey, I'll show you mine. I'll
love my bell of purpose. Wake up. Wake it up. It is Monday, y'all. We are ready to kick it off. Get it going. Pop it off. It's Monday. What a great day. What a great day, right? Say amen. Say it. Say it. Put it in the comments. Good morning. And can I get an amen up in here? Good morning to all of you beautiful people. I see you. I see you out there. Listen, welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren Michael Harris, and I'm so excited to be here with you as I am every day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central. So how was your weekend? Happy belated Easter to all of you. It was great. It was a beautiful day yesterday here in the Chicago land. And just kind of laid low, got some yard work done, opened the deck back up, which means taking the tarp off, putting all the furniture back out, and got some work done for the Power of We Romania. Ooh-wee, y'all. It's getting closer. It's so exciting watching this divine experience be created right in front of your eyes. You know, we bring what we can. And when I say we, I mean everyone. Team Romania, thanks, hats off to all of them. Also to Team USA and all of the many moving pieces around the globe that make this trip possible, including the U.S. State Department and the wonderful nonprofit Comfort Cases, who's donating 200 cases, backpacks that we're going to fill with great things for these kids and give them. I'm going to show you a clip here in a minute. We're May 4th, we take off, wheels up, from all over the globe. We're coming from 3 different countries, and we're coming together for our Legacy of Hope tour. Hats off to the Saylor brothers, who currently have the number 3 movie. It may have moved up, I'm not sure. His only son, the executive directors, the Saylor brothers, are coming with us to shoot and capture this wonderful, wonderful experience, Legacy of Hope. There's the other flyer, and there's our official t-shirt. Thank you, Triple Nickel, whose garb I am wearing, both t-shirt and hat, because I'm a brand ambassador, and they're also my brothers, military brothers. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. That goes to all of you veterans out there. And right now, I want to show you guys, here's a peek inside of some of our stops. Now, you'll notice in this video that not every day. We're there for 7 days, 8 if you count the day we travel, but we don't. So we're really leaving on the 4th, but wheels down and feet down, heart down, everything but sitting down, okay, come Friday. And so if you don't see a day, like what happened to day 1, what happened to day 2, because those are domestic violence shelters, all kinds of different shelters that are private. There's secret locations. Even our transportation people will not know where they're taking us until they get there, and they probably won't even know then. But we're doing that to protect the people that, for whatever reason right now in their lives, they need to be safe. And so we're going to honor that and respect that. But anyway, everything else is in the video. Take a look. And there you go. So, yay to everyone who is making this possible, including you. This is a modern day Stone Soup experience, which means we cannot do it without you. The GoFundMe link is not only in the top of your comments thread in today's broadcast, but it's all over my social media. And there it is again, magically appearing at the bottom of the screen. Please go in. Every little bit counts. It is not the power of me, or I would have named it that. It is the power of we. And when we do whatever it is we can, $1, $10, $50, what have you, it's not the amount. It's the value of the spirit in which you give it. I'm going to let that hang out there for just a second so it can take root. Okay. You will be blessed accordingly. So keep that in mind and follow your heart. Okay. So today's guest she's been patiently waiting in the back room, the green room. And her name is Sheri Berger, not to be completely confused with my good friend Cheese Burger. I'm just kidding. Sheri, I got to tell you about that. I've been doing that all weekend. I was like, oh my God, I have so much fun with that name. I think it's a married name, so you probably didn't get teased when you were growing up, but we're going to find out, right? So Sheri, who is she? What is she? What does she do? Well, first and foremost, she's focused on helping business owners, that's all of us, with success leadership and business growth while providing them with the tools and resources to balance life, business, and finances. Finances. She can help you, seriously, identify what's blocking you, what's keeping you, what is getting in your way, stopping you from reaching your goals, and she can help you create a custom plan to grow your business and balance your time and to pay attention to the things that matter the most in your life. A lot of us, as we start becoming more and more successful, will leave ourselves behind. Been there, done that. No more. So listen, this is Sheri's first visit with us. And you know how we do. We love to roll out the virtual, if you will, red carpet. And how do we do that? Put some hearts on the screen. It's our way of virtually giving a standing ovation. Here she comes. Welcome to the stage, our good friend, Sheri Mushroom Swiss Burger. I had to think of my second favorite one. I already said cheese. Well, first of all, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's so good to see you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I couldn't hang out with you. I just couldn't. I'd
Why?
be hungry all the cause. You're
Oh my
I'd
God.
be hungry all the
So my
time.
oldest son in high school, you were saying cheeseburger. He got called cheeseburger. And he went to a Lutheran, he's a Lutheran pastor. So he went to a Lutheran high school and they would go cheese when he was doing basketball and stuff. And so all the other parents were worried he was getting picked on, but he thought it was the coolest.
Well,
And remember, we used to have landlines. I know people don't know what those are.
a lot of people still have them.
I know. When people would call him and ask for cheese, I knew it was his high school buddies. So that was his nickname. That's what's funny. Cheeseburger was my Matthew Burger, who is Pastor Matthew now. That was his nickname. Is that hilarious?
That's awesome. That's
so
awesome.
There you go.
So, Sheri, where are you in the world?
Kansas City, Kansas, Shawnee, Kansas. Yes.
Kansas City, Kansas, not Kansas City, Missouri.
No, I'm in Kansas. I'm in the actual Kansas, Shawnee, Kansas.
Do you know anybody named Dorothy?
Yeah, I do. I've heard that too.
Does she have red slippers?
You know, I'm not a real Kansas girl, right? I'm a transplant. You do know that.
Where are you from originally?
Alaska.
Alaska?
Yeah.
Where?
I grew up in Wastella, Alaska, and I was born in Fairbanks.
So wait a minute. So does that part of Alaska, because I know the whole state doesn't get it, that all that time in darkness?
Oh no, it all gets less. We get less light than you guys in the winter time.
So you're telling me
it's more drastic. I like to tell people. So yeah.
But isn't it like noon there somewhere, and it's like pitch black?
No, when I go to the school bus in the morning, this is what I like to tell people. And when I got off the school bus in the afternoon, it would be dark. But it would be like the days while we were at school, basically. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on where you're at.
It gets completely dark during the day.
It gets dark earlier. It gets dark earlier than it does here. So it'll be dark till like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then it might get dark about 4 or 5 in the evening.
So it doesn't, it's not, so nowhere in Alaska is it actually dark at noon.
Okay, Lauren, let's be real. I haven't been everywhere in Alaska. Alaska is a big state. Everybody thinks Texas is big, but Alaska, I think we beat them.
Somebody Google that. Sarah McQueen. I know you can find out.
So you know what I tell everybody, Lauren? You know what's wrong with me? I grew up in Alaska and I was raised by 2 East Coast parents. So some people tell me you act very East Coast. My parents have known each other since they were 12 and 14. Yep, all my family's from Massachusetts, yet I grew up in Alaska. So my dad got out of Air Force and then he got a good job offer up in Alaska. So that's how we ended up there.
It seems like they would put that in school there. Now, you know, over in Fairbanks, it's dark all day long around January. But I'm going to Google and find out. Or Sheri McQueen, you could do it.
Okay, want me to tell you one more? Want me to tell you one more myth about Alaska? I've never ever seen an igloo before in my life, guys.
Well, no.
We go to school with Indians and Eskimos, and they're like you and I. They just live in regular houses and go to class with us. It's weird. Ha ha ha.
Well, of course now, but I bet they used to.
Yeah. No, I think if you go way up north in Alaska, I think they do it for ice fishing or something, which I've never seen ice fishing either. So, but my dad traveled all over Alaska. So I've been to Juneau and Valdez and a lot of the places in Alaska because my dad would travel for a living, but he never left state Alaska.
So why Kansas? Why what's the great thing about Kansas you love?
Oh, you know what I love about Kansas? We're right in the middle of the United States. So I can drive about 8 hours, right? And I can be almost anywhere. Where in Alaska, it was really hard, you know, to leave the state.
So what kind of life did you grow up in? What was it like for you one day?
In Alaska, I did 4-H, had a horse and a dog and a cat and things like that. But school wasn't always easy for me. I struggled in school. So in third, I didn't go to kindergarten. A lot of people have been to kindergarten. My mom and dad we were moving from Fairbanks to Wasilla, probably before kindergarten, but we were custom building a house. And so I didn't get to go to kindergarten because it was like preschool is now. So I went to first grade and I made it through first and second grade without reading. They didn't realize I didn't know how to read till third grade. So that made that hard growing up. So, and I went to private school till fifth grade. And then I went to public school and they didn't know what to do with me when I was reading at third grade level in fifth grade. So that made my life really rough. Huh?
So what do you mean when you say it made your life really rough? What do you mean? You were bullied?
Well, they put me in special ed. They put me in special ed classes. They called me retarded. They told me I didn't know. They thought I was goody two-shoe because I came from private school. You know, the typical, I guess they call it bullying now. But anyway, and then they would take me out of the special resource room and have me do book reports in front of my fifth grade peers when I was reading at third grade.
Right.
And of course, the fifth graders would ridicule me. Believe it or not, I had no friends in fifth and sixth grade. And I am an extrovert. And my husband claims I collect friends. But it's really hard. You know what I mean? When you just don't fit in.
Okay, let's slow down to a jog instead of a sprint. How about that? Let's slow down to a jog.
My East Coast coming through.
Well, because I want to talk. I don't script it. I don't send out questions ahead of time. I kind of just let it happen because those are illuminated conversations. Can I get an amen, y'all? So let's talk about that because a lot of people, adults today, carry, let's just say there's a bathtub ring from something like bullying, or they may have had a domestic violence issue in their home, or a number of different traumas. So, and bullying is a trauma. You know, I was in the special ed classes because of ADHD when I entered foster care, even though I too had come from private school, but I didn't stay in there long, about a day, and they'd get me out of there. But I still, once you set foot in there, you know, you still got to deal with the ridicule. Plus, there was the stigma of, people knew you were in the foster home. So I know that feeling. But let's talk about what you've done with those experiences. How have those experiences of the bullying and being pegged a child version of underachiever, because that's really what they're doing, shaming a person. How has that led you to the you today? Because you and I met at the Becoming the Best You experience, and I don't say, I didn't say conference or event. It was an experience. Yes. And it was in St. Louis about a couple months ago, And so becoming the best you and standing on those kinds of stages and stuff. Let's talk about that before we actually get to what you do for a living. Why is it important to you to partake in and be a part of those types of experiences? What was it for you that drew you to that?
So I had a hard childhood because, of course, when you start off like that and you're having problems with reading and writing and things like that, and then if you move your junior year, which is what I did, we actually moved down to Atlanta. And so I went to 2 or 3 different high schools. So that makes education really, really hard when you're trying to go through the education system. And then I did end up getting married at 18 to an abusive alcoholic husband. I was literally abused till I was 20. And then when I was 20, I realized I wanted more for my life. But what does that mean, right? If you have came from abuse, you've came from being told that you weren't smart at school, and then you had stuff at home, and then you marry an abusive alcoholic, and then you have a baby in the middle of that, and you're trying to leave all that. What does that mean? To go and want more and do more. Well, it took me, I met a friend of mine named Gerald Harris, who's a second dad of mine, and he believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I was that pretty. I didn't think I was that smart. And it was all those things that came from my childhood. And so to have one person, and that's what I go out and try to be, is that one person that believes in you, maybe when you can't believe in yourself. So I went and got my GED, and I got my driver's license after I came out of an abusive relationship at 20. And then I went to college. And even then I was told I couldn't go to college. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't good enough. Right?
Who was telling you that?
Everybody around you, right? The environment, the people that you grew up with, everywhere you're coming from, your family, right? If that's what your family has that stigma on you, and your people that you're around have that stigma on you, and you're 20, guess what you got to do? You got to move out of it. And you don't have anybody that believes in you. But if you have that one person, right? And I had that one person. And when you start moving out of that, Lauren, guess what happens? You start surrounding yourself with, I literally went to college, even though my mom said, you're not that smart. Go to continue ed. You won't be to go to college. My sister was going to college. She was a single parent. All I wanted to do is provide for my son. And so I took the entry exam to go to the junior college here, and I had to take fundamentals of reading, learning strategy, math, all those. But wait a minute, I didn't get to graduate high school. I moved out 2 days after I was 17 from my parents' house, and so my dad kicked me out more times when I was 16. It wasn't I was a bad kid. It's a long story, but I grew up fast. If you move out at 17, you get married at 18, you have a baby at 19, and you're divorced by the time you're 20, and you have an 18-month-old, and you don't know what to do, and you have no GED and no driver's license, that's called fast road. Come on now. But then Gerald told me I could. And then when I went to college, guess what happened, Lauren? I would be at the junior college, and teachers and people would tell me I was smart, and people started telling me I could do it. Because guess what I was doing? I was stepping out of that other environment into a new, more success environment, right? So the more we get ourselves around the right people, like you, Lauren, you're such a motivator, right? You're so amazing. If you're around you, I always tell people, don't hang out with me.
I'm serious. Go on.
Yeah.
You were saying, what about me?
I say, well, because you're a motivator, right? When I met you, you and I had the best, energy when we first met each other. You came up and told me what you thought of my presentation. And remember, I gave you a hug and I thanked you.
What did you say about us at the beginning? We what?
I said we had a good synergy, right? When we met each other right away, because we knew we were both trying to go out and change the world and make a difference, right? Mm-hmm. You have your stuff, which shouldn't have happened to you, probably, as a child or whatever, right? Yeah. But you know what? I say that makes me a better version of who I am.
Exactly. It makes you who you are.
So when then I went on to
it makes you the best version because it's yours. It's your soul's experience. So let me ask you, because I know, and a lot of us out there now, I'm sure we can all agree, we're friends here. We change the air in the tank, so to speak, where we leave one environment to the next, and that's the beginning. But then still, too, it's almost like we carry a lot of that stuff. It's stuck to the bottom of our shoe like a piece of toilet paper that we picked up along the way, dragging it and don't even realize it's flowing behind us. So, I know I, for one, got angry at the circumstances. Why me? You know, those things that we say to ourselves that lead us into that world of being a victim, which can keep you down for decades. I know I did me, the poor me thing. So, what did you reach for, Sheri, to just say, you know what, I'm flipping the page. I'm turning the page. I'm just going to change this shit. Um, you know, I know who I am. Because you weren't college educated, you didn't come from the big fancy house in the rich neighborhood. You were single, you were young, you had a child, you had all these things that looked like they were stacked up against you, but nonetheless, here we are. So let's talk about this. Did you ever get to the point where you started believing in something greater than yourself, whatever that may be? God,
Well,
source.
I always was a Christian. And so one thing when I got a divorce is I was able to go back to church. And in all fairness, I grew up in a middle class family. My dad, if anything, over provided for us. I'm one of 6. My dad always over provided for us. That was a big thing.
What does that mean? Spoiled you?
And that means that he probably spent more money on us kids than he really made, right? He was always, what is it called? Like he sent us to private schools. And then in 5th grade, we couldn't afford to do that. My dad would give us the shirt off his back.
He just wanted a better life for his kids, like most parents.
Yeah, but he didn't always know how to be a dad. And he had a little anger problems. Well, a lot of anger problems.
Okay.
But this isn't about my parents, right? I don't want to throw them under the bus. They
Right.
had their own
because
story.
they did their best.
They did. And it was a lot, you know, but it was a lot, right? And I decided I wanted to break that cycle. I didn't want to raise kids that way. I didn't want, right? A lot of the things that happened in my childhood, I didn't want for my kids.
Of course.
So I've worked really, really hard to break the cycle. But my why, I'll be honest with you, Lauren, when I left my ex-husband, I weighed 105 pounds. I had no self-esteem. I sat in the back of the class. I didn't believe in myself at all, but I had one why. Matthew Berger. Well, he wasn't Matthew Berger at the time, but he was Matthew. But anyway, my son, Matthew, what was I going to do? I have a baby, right? So he was my why. And I wanted to go out and just make it where we could make it on our own. And I had to get food stamps for a minute, and I had to, right? And I didn't like any of that. And so how can I get off all that? So I went to JUCO, and then I graduated from Park University, and I went and got the big ass job, right? I was a programmer analyst in the 90s when women didn't do that. And then I was a system analyst in the 90s with a bunch of 40-year-old men, and I'm 20. But that's how I was providing for my child.
So what was that like? What did you learn?
Well, I didn't think I was even going to graduate JUCO, right? Because I told you I have a form of dyslexia. So when I graduated Park University, I literally had to take a essay exam.
I don't remember you saying anything about dyslexia.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with dyslexia in 3rd grade, and I have a really high IQ. So that's how I made it through 1st and 2nd grade without reading. How did I make it through 1st and 2nd grade? They didn't figure I couldn't read till 3rd grade. I fell through the system. Right? And I was in a private school, but we worked on paces. So we did it on our own pace. And so people like you would give me an oral exam. And my mom told me one time, well, of course, you know that the dog's not blue, that it's brown. You know what I mean? So because I have a high IQ, which a lot of people with learning disabilities, they have a very high IQ. So I got through college. Not only do I have dyslexia, but I wrote a book. Dyslexia is not, being in a wheelchair does not hold you back. You have ADD, right? That doesn't hold you back. We all have a thorn in our side. What do you have? I also, believe it or not, if you want me to be real, I have depression and anxiety. And people are like, what the heck?
Of course I want
And you've heard me, Lauren. I am a motivational speaker. I motivate people all day long. But what I do with those, right? What I do with those so-called handicaps is what matters, right?
Yes.
How do you work through that every day?
So, well, I know for me personally, my mental health issues are now, once I removed that sticker that someone had put on it that said shame, I peeled that off, like the stickers you find on bananas. I peeled it off, and it became my superpower and remains
exactly.
It really is my superpower, seriously. So do you talk about these things, the dyslexia? Do you talk about the shame of that happens and follows, a young woman who is single with a baby. Do you talk about the abusive relationship in your work today? How were you able to weave your passion that has led you to the person you are today into the story or the content, I guess I should say, that you provide people to help them find their way? Because, these stories work on everyone, because it's not about, the characters in the story. It is about the characters within the people in the story. So let's talk about that. What was it that you reached for when you were the only you and what you believe to be greater than you? God, I believe you said you're a believer.
Yes.
What did you reach for to pull yourself back up? Did you read the Bible? Did you meditate? Did you go for a walk?
I went back to church, right? And along the way through college, I met my husband. I'm married, love of my life now. We will be married 29 years in June. And he'd seen something in me, right, along the way. And as you get more and more people to believe in you, and I had a great Bible story. I have Bible friends of 33 years, and they're 20 years older than I am. So I've had mentors in my life and coaches. And Gerald Harris is my second dad. I always tell people he's almost more of a parent to me than my parents, right? And I lost him 2.5 years ago. But he taught me so many things in the 30 some odd years that he was my friend, right?
Yeah.
Or my mentor. And so over the time, I found mentors and things, right? And so to have those people that believe in you. And I didn't know, Lauren, that other people don't have that, right? At 20 years old, that's how I started stepping out of back to, my new version of myself, right?
Okay. Speaking of new version. So, we all have, I know you know this. It's like we grow past and through the people closest to us that did a lot of the hurting. A lot of us still, and you can't unmarry yourself to the bloodline. You can, but it's still there. So let's talk about this. What about what about today? Because I'm sure you have some of those people that are somewhere still in your, here it comes, shameless plug in 3, 2, 1, on your trajectory TV. So I'm sure you still have some of those people within your circle of influence, family, friends, who were naysayers. You remember back when that Sheri, oh boy, she ain't gonna do shit. Boy, that's Sheri. Oh man, she's gonna end up on the street, this, that, and the other. And now, look at you now. What do they say now? Or what do you think they think now? Or do they say anything? How are those relationships?
But let me, okay, so I have a whole on chapter 4 of my book. I talk about the people that we need in our life and how to deal with some toxic people. Because no matter what, we're going to have toxic people. We're either going to work with them, which maybe that's easier, but if they're family members, so you need boundaries with love, right?
Wait, you have a chapter where?
Chapter 4 in my book is about
your book.
Need in our life. Yes.
I just wanted to get that shameless plug up on the screen.
Yeah, my book right here, chapter 4 in my book, is all about those people.
Time. Where again can we find it?
And Here to There Revealed, my book right here.
Oh, I thought you said my book. I'm sorry, I had no idea you had a book. Anyway, let's talk about that.
No, but in my book in chapter 4, that's what I talk about is those people.
What's the name of it? Hold it up again. You brought it out. Let's talk about the book.
It's Here to There Revealed. It's a system for balancing. Well, I'm trying to make it not get lost in the green screen. See?
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pop you in the screen by yourself. Okay. Tell us what the book is about. Okay. Tell us we see it. Tell us we all see it. We all see it. Tell us what the book is about and who is the book for and why were you called to be the one to write it? All you.
So I have owned this business for 12 years. Actually, I celebrated 12 years in April. And before that, I've ran my own business for the last 24. And I went out and consulted, and I've helped many small to mid-sized businesses. But along the way, I realized the balance was a big, big problem that entrepreneurs or even career women, men too, right? But mainly women, we struggle with life-work balance. So I hate it when people own their business their business owns them and they don't own their business, right? Because then they forget about their life. So we create custom roadmaps to move you from here to there. Did you see me do my pun on my name of my business? But no, we do custom roadmaps, moving you from here to there so that we can help you create a life and business that you love. So this book, I wrote it in it last year. It went live February 2, 22. So I wrote this book because I've done years of teaching on these things. So everything that we ever want to change starts with mindset. So chapter 1 is all about mindset. And it's probably one of the hardest chapters, I'll be honest, because mindset's something that we all struggle with. No matter how successful you become, you can be the president of the United States, you can be one of these big actors, whatever, you still struggle with mindset. But everything starts with mindset. If we change our mindset, we can change our life. So chapter 1 is all about mindset. Chapter 2 is about having vision, purpose, and mission. Not just for your business, though, for your life. Because you and I know life is too short to not have a purpose and a vision and a mission for it. And then chapter 3 is about setting goals in those 6 areas of our life. And like Lauren said, I'm a Christian. So spirituality is the core of who we all are. No, I'm not shoving Christianity on you, but everybody has some form of spirituality and personal. Yeah. So we talk all about those 6 areas of your life in chapter 3. Chapter 4 is about the people that you need in your life. And Lauren's very favorite is chapter 5, because I heard him say it. It's your pre-spending plan. We don't want to talk about a budget. We don't want to talk about your finances. You were so excited about the finance part. Remember, you said in finances.
Yeah.
You were rolling your eyes. And then what's our most valuable asset, Lauren? Our time, right? We can make more money. So chapter 6, all about time. So I put this system, it's a system to balance your life. It's the stuff that I teach on. So it's a really good book. If you don't have this book, you know what, Lauren, I'll be honest with you. I've read this book a lot of times.
I'm sure you
and
have.
I'm amazed. I know, and I'm amazed by the book. And you're like, what are you talking about? And I humble myself here, right? I'm not trying to sound arrogant.
No,
but I didn't write
I get it.
I didn't write this book. God wrote this book through me and has made such a big difference in other people's life that I'm like, wow. And I told you I have dyslexia and I wrote a book.
Okay, I got a question. My turn.
Your turn. Go, Lauren.
So you admitted earlier, because it's a real thing. I dealt with it last week. I was having a real rough morning with this Romania thing. It is a lot. And you have to go somewhere. We all do. Keep it real. You look like that on the covers of magazines and shit, but that doesn't mean you live in a perpetual state of bliss. No, you wouldn't have a story. If you did, you'd have a straight line. You wouldn't have the peaks and valleys, which are proof. If you throw your journey up on the heart monitor of the universe, you don't want to see a flat line. That's proof there is no life. You want to see the ups and the downs. So I was in the car at the New Health Club. It was raining cats and dogs. I thought I was waiting for the rain to subside so I could get out. Next thing you know, I'm boo-hooing. There was more water in the car than outside, and the rainstorm was out there. But I needed to get it out. I needed to face the fear to become fearless. So let's talk about that. You said, I deal with depression. When you said also, I've read the book many times. So have you ever picked up your own book and went to your own content when you did not show up as the person you are right now? I do that. You guys have heard me say I keep things within reach, whether it's my Galaga game to get my head right, whether it's this book where I have marked passages, because when I don't show up as I'm ready to tackle the world, Lauren, I have left literal clues for myself when I'm not this person to remind and remember myself to who and why I truly am. So if you should pick up your own book when you're what I just described, not so much the person we see, what chapter is it that you go to first?
Oh, I think mindset, right? Everything is mindset.
So let's peel that onion then a little. Okay, because that's an easy term to throw out. Everybody uses
I get it, but everything that we decide, do you ever wake up in the morning and you're like, who am I? And why am I doing this?
No.
Right?
No.
Like sometimes you're like,
I do.
I know, and we all do, right?
But wait. Take the clothes off of mindset. If it were a paper towel, take the outfit off. What does
your thoughts,
what
right?
does
What you think.
What does mindset look like naked?
What you're thinking, what's in your mind, your
so
thoughts. You know how
you
know how your thoughts are not true. Just because we think something doesn't mean it's right.
True.
And sometimes we forget to stop, take capture of our thoughts. Chapter 1 even talks about this, right? Take capture of that thought and go like, right? Even when I wanted to write my book, I was like, who am I to write my book? It's too hard. I have dyslexia. I can't, right? But who am I not to write my book? Look at all the things I did before I wrote my book. I got a degree. I got this. You know, I used to be scared of public speaking, but 17 years ago.
Yeah, everybody is.
Because of what I told you happened to me in 5th grade. I was being ridiculed in front of my 5th grade peers because I was reading at 3rd grade. So 17 years ago, I realized that was holding me back. So I joined Toastmasters. And when I joined Toastmasters, I was giving a speech every 4 weeks. And people were like, man, you're so brave. You're doing it every 4 weeks. No, I'm not. I'm doing it every 4 weeks because if you don't jump out of the plane, you're going to keep being scared to jump out of the plane. So sometimes we wake up in the morning or just in general, right? Not even in the morning, throughout the day. How many thoughts do you have in a day?
Tons. I have ADHD.
I know, but are they all positive? Lauren, let's be real.
322.5 just since we started this interview. Trust me. So listen, we're going to take a brief break, everybody. And when we come back,
okay,
I want to talk to Sheri about, a couple more things. There's a lot of story still in front of us when we come back. But Sheri, for you to think about, I want you to think about, I'm going to ask you this. What is it that you find yourself still working on? What is your go-to as far as I'm working on this in order to find my highest self? My thing for the whole last year was anger, really trying to eradicate it, kick its ass, keep it down, revoke its license, banish it, what have you. I know none of us can ever be completely devoid of these things, but we can understand how to put it in its place when it does not serve us. So we're going to talk about that. There it is. I want you to think about one thing that you're working on in your life that you know doesn't serve you. Because see, when we're vulnerable like this, people go, wow, she's more like me and I am more like her than I thought at the beginning. Because I never thought I could write a book when she started. But then she said she didn't think she could either. Wow, maybe I need to revisit. That and more when we return. Don't you dare go away. We will be right back.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope.
Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. My guest today is Sheri Berger, and you just saw our promo piece regarding our pen pal letter campaign, which is a part of this trip to Romania. We're taking 200 backpacks, comfort cases. Thank you, comfortcases.org, from 200 kids here in the United States to 200 kids in Romania, and putting a personal pen pal letter inside every single case. So if you have a kid from the ages of where they're able to write a letter, form some thoughts, spread some love, share some hope, and would like to have a pen pal possibly across the globe in Romania in return, same age group, let me know and we'll show you all the ways. Go to powerofwesymposium.com. I can pop that up on the screen, or just hit me up personally and we will get your young person set up. There's the link for that. There it is. Okay. Thank you so much. Sheri Berger, come on back in. So Sheri, anything in your life currently that you're working on that you have identified and you said, it does not serve me. And the reason I bring this up is because I always believe that coaches should have coaches, leaders should have leaders in their world, mentors, whatever it is, because we are always in the process of evolving. That's why we are human beings. ING means in the process of, and not human dones. So what is it you're currently working on that does not serve you and you want it to go? And what's your plan to make that happen?
So last year I had a really hard year. My mom almost died in July. I've lost 3 dogs in 8 months. Not kidding you. 2 got put down for being old and 1 got ran over. And so that was a lot. My daughter got married in 4 months. And that was too fast for me. And I realized that life was just crazy, but I didn't realize that it was dragging me back to where I don't belong, right? So can you imagine my depression and my anxiety was getting very, very high through all of this trauma and a bunch of stuff that was just happening last year. And I said, wait a minute, I don't live there. Why am I trying to go there? You can't control what happens around you. My friend Gerald Harris used to always say, make it a great day. Don't have a great day, right?
Yeah.
So meditation, not that I haven't done it before, but meditation, my Bible study. And you know what? Sometimes, call me crazy, I'll be by myself when I do this. But sometimes I'm like, hey, God, I'm freaking out over because my daughter just got married. I don't really know this guy. You know what? Hey, God, you haven't figured out you love Kara more than I do. God, every time I start freaking out, I go, hey, God, you're going to take care of this, right? So those, hey, God moments. And then also, not that I believe God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit is 3 in 1, but I'll even go, Holy Spirit, make sure that I'm speaking, not me, right? Teach me when to be quiet, when to speak up, and what to do. And I've been doing a lot of meditation too. So those are funny that you brought that up because those are some things that I've been doing. So Tuesday last week, though, I woke up and I asked my husband, what day is it? He's like, what the heck? And I'm an entrepreneur. Wait, I own my own business. My schedule every day is different, right, Lauren? Yours probably is too. We have some of the sets. So I was like, what day is it? I think I worked over the weekend too, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But anyway, and he said Tuesday, and I was like, oh, good. I don't have much to do. So I got in my office. I started trying to fix my checking book, I don't know, pay bills, doing math before coffee.
Your checking book.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And your checking book, is that what it's called in your chapter about finances?
No.
I'm kidding.
I just made a crazy comment, but I was looking at my checking account, fixing QuickBooks. I don't even know, before coffee. And then I ordered something before coffee. I screwed everything up. I had to go back. Took me 30 more minutes to fix all this, right?
Do that all the time. Yep.
And then I breathed and I went, Sheri, go get your stupid coffee. Drink your coffee. Did you do your Bible study this morning? Well, no. You know what, Sheri? You need to back up. You need to do your Bible study, your coffee, right? Then I eat my breakfast. I'm always up in about an hour before I eat breakfast. So I screwed up my whole routine in the morning and I was messing up. So when I did that, guess what? My day started going right again because I had to go back and restart. And some of that is, what is it called? Did you spend time just breathing, reflecting, meditating, whatever that is for you, right? Drinking your cup of coffee, Sometimes we just need to stop and slow down.
This is true. This is true. That's a big one. I purposely did that this weekend, and you're right. It is. Self-care is very important. It's paramount. Put it in the comments. One thing that, if you're listening, one thing that you do to right the ship, if you will, to start the road to self-care. Some people take a mental health day. Some people just say, I'm going for a walk, turn their phones off, all kinds of different things. So whatever it is, find it. It is just like that oxygen cup that drops down in an airplane that you secure over your face first before you try to help anyone else. Can I get an amen? Same thing here. Sheri, you have a survey that you want to offer, and you sent us 2 links, but they're the same one. So
yeah, they are the same. Yes.
Okay. So talk about, what is this survey? What's it about? Who's it for?
So it's going to let you know where you are in your life, in your business, right? So you can evaluate on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you when you're dealing with family? So I talk about those 6 areas: your family, which I call it relationships, because not everybody has family, Lauren.
This is true.
But we all have relationships. You can create your own family. Did you know that?
Of course.
Do you know
blood is what gives you relatives. Love is what gives you family.
Exactly. Love that. See? So you can create your own people in your life. And so it's going to take you through, so you can do a survey on where you're at in your life and where you might want to improve. So that survey is really good to take. And then
what's the survey for? What's it
to evaluate where you are in your life for balance.
So at the end of the survey,
where are you and where do you want to go?
At the end of the survey, do I tally up some numbers and then it tells me something, or do I have to have a call with you? What happens next?
Yeah, you get a free 30-minute consultation with me, and we can evaluate where you're at in your life and business.
So what kind of people would you say are or fit the criteria of Sheri Berger's ideal client?
So I'm a transitional coach. So I help people with transitions in their life, in their businesses. And what I find is those people that are overwhelmed, right? We're always growing. We're growing in our business, though, and we're growing in our life. So when I say transitional coach, are you moving from here to there in your business? Are you trying to take it to the next level? By the way, I have a huge amount of business background. I actually am a certified financial coach, too. And I have all this business background. So I will sit down and we create a custom roadmap when you're trying to move from here to there in your business. But what about your life? I've sat down with people that are going through divorces, or they're having. So I do a combination of life and business transition, because I told you I did consulting for 24 years, and I would sit down and try to help somebody with their business plan. But if they had stuff going on in their relationship or their health or other areas, they couldn't focus. So we sit down and we come up with a custom road plan map. I love people. My husband claims I collect friends, but people are like snowflakes. They're all different. Somebody told me, well, they could be raindrops. I go, no. Alaskan girl says you're snowflakes, right? Because you're all different and unique. So are businesses, right? So CEOs in business know they know how to run their business. But what if you could have somebody look at your bird's eye view and come up with a better system and procedures for your life and your business?
Okay. So let me ask you this. Is your work, this last question, we got about a minute and a half left. Would you say that it's a different world for you working with clients today, post pandemic, post COVID, than before the pandemic? In a Reader's Digest version, how different is it how different is it to run your own business successfully today than, I know it's a big question for a little bit of time, but give it a shot, than before COVID? Did you have to change how you work with people, or
everybody had to pivot, right? Yeah. So, for 2 weeks we shut down, and I cried because I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I work with small to mid-sized businesses, but they're not just my businesses. They're my friends, and they have families to support. So I cried, and I was meditating and praying, and God goes, Sheri, you have a whole toolbox. Go out and use it. So I went out and I helped as many small to mid-sized businesses. I started putting together masterminds, 7-day challenges. I was working for people for free for like 90 days. I was helping whoever I could, but you can't help everybody. Did you know that, Lauren? I wish
Yes,
I could.
do. Yes, girl.
You can only help those that want to help themselves. Some people were doing this, and I couldn't get them to open their hands, so I couldn't help them.
They weren't ready.
They were all about, I made all this money last year. I did 2020 was hard for everybody. But the people that I could get to pivot and change, they were able to make a difference. And then you know what happened? I got caught here in Kansas City, and I won the Kansas Business Women Advocate of the Year just because I was doing the right next thing. But my business and a lot of other people I've worked with, we've gotten bigger because now we can be online. Look at you and me going right now, right? Everybody's online.
There it is. If you want your business to grow bigger, if you want to take great to greater, bright to brighter, smart to smarter, you might want to consider giving at least take the survey, which is free. And then if you are resonating with what you find there, I recommend you reach out to Sheri and see what's next, if anything at all. So listen, Sheri Berger, thank you so much. You guys, there is the bit.ly link for all things Sheri Berger, including that free survey that just might help you understand something a little clearer. So Sheri, thank you so much. You guys also remember that the GoFundMe link is in your thread. Please go in and follow your heart. Drop anything into the pot. It's a modern day Stone Soup story, and we could not do it and would not want to without you. Now, in conclusion, tomorrow is a different kind of day. Second time in all 6 years history of Bathrobe Moments where a guest host tomorrow is Jamie Lane, badass Jamie Lane. She her book went #1 last week, the FDA. I'm not going to say all 4 of those letters. And she's here to interview me. So I will be the interviewee while Jamie Lane will be the interviewer. Should prove to be an interesting show. I hope you can join us. Listen, get out today. Be the very best version of yourself you can be. Trust me. All you have to do to find your way down the hallway of legacy in this world, in this journey, is to be willing to wake up every day and just believe that you could bring something to this world that this world has never seen before. But that would mean you have to wake up every day and be willing to be that person you've never been before. Think about that. I'll see you tomorrow morning, God willing, right out front on the front porch. And together we will create history. We will create a divine moment in time. How? How else? Through illuminated conversation. Sheri, thank you so much. It's a blessing always. We hope to have you back sometime. Have the best day ever. Great job.
Make it a great day. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Listen, I tell you every day I love you. Ain't a damn thing you can do about it. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you